What up there, Wonder Shoppers all over the world? Welcome to a brand new edition of Paper Preview. Now, as you can see, I'm not in the shop. I'm in the comfort of my own home. War Machine MJ has allowed me to do Paper Preview of TNA Slammiversary. I told him I wanted to do a preview of that, and I talked about it on, excuse me, on my podcast from Monday. If you missed it, go back on Monday's episode 30, and check out my preview of TNA's Slammiversary, which is this Sunday on pay-per-view. Now, I know most of you don't watch TNA. You're pretty much giving up on TNA, which is understandable. But for some of you like me, I still watch TNA. Haven't been able to catch it lately due to work schedules and other things like that. But I do plan on catching Slammiversary. I'm looking forward to that main event, that big main event for the TNA World Title. Drew Galloway versus Bobby Lashley. The only way to win is by tap out or knockout. I will get into that in just a second. But a few changes were made to the card. Some matches were supposed to happen but aren't going to happen. I'm going to get into all that. So let's get right into the preview. The first match on the card, some matches were added to the card for Sunday. So the first match on the card is Jade, the TNA Knockouts champion, taking on Sienna. Now, for those of you, like I said, who still watch TNA, you know that Jade is the current Knockouts champion, and Sienna is the enforcer, so to speak, for Maria, who is the head of the TNA Knockouts division. Now, Sienna, she's been pretty much dominant since her debut, taking out the likes of Velvet Sky, Gail Kim, etc., etc. And she's pretty much the bodyguard, like I said, for Maria. And Maria pretty much gave her a title shot. Now, speaking of Maria, she was supposed to face Gail Kim this Sunday, but due to a broken hand, a legit broken hand, it's not a storyline, the match is not going to happen. So no Gail Kim versus Maria. But getting back to this match, honestly, I kind of feel like it's a one-sided match, being that, Sienna, she's bigger, a little stronger than Jade. Jade, she does her thing as well. Haven't seen much of her lately. So with that being said, I'm going to go with Sienna. I think she'll be the new Knockouts champion, and she'll bring it home to the other side, so to speak. Alright, the next match is a fatal four-way for the X Division Championship. Trevor Lee, who is a part of the Helms Dynasty, so to speak, he's defending the championship. Literally, I forgot all about the X Division Championship because we haven't seen it defended in so long. But anyway, he's defending the championship this Sunday against Eddie Edwards of the Wolves, Andrew Everett, and DJZ. I think this will be a good match. Once again, I forgot all about the X Division and the X Division Championship. No pun intended. But, you got four good competitors here in DJZ, Andrew, Trevor, and Eddie. They're going to be doing their thing. All that high-flying stuff that you normally, or that you used to see with the X Division when AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, etc., when they were in the X Division, when they were in TNA. But with all that being said, like I said, it's gonna be a good match. Match of the night, who knows? But anyway, I'm gonna say Andrew Everett. I'm just gonna make a pick and say Andrew Everett again. It's been so long since we've seen the X Division Championship defended on TV, pay-per-view, what have you. So I'm just going to go on the limb and just pick somebody and say Andrew Everett. Alright, the next match will be Braxton Sutter, a newcomer in TNA. I don't know who he's going to take on, so we're going to skip that match. The following match will be a tag team match. It's going to be the team of Mahabali Shera and Grado taking on the Tribunal. Now, this team has aligned themselves, a new tag team on the scene in TNA, have aligned themselves with the likes of Al Snow, who has this beef with Grado and Mahabali he's on this conquest to teach them a lesson, so to speak, saying, they were just forced into the business. They didn't learn the basics like he did. Al Snow's been in the business 25, 30 years, and he's saying, they just came into the business, not knowing anything. And quite frankly, I really haven't kept up with this rivalry. So, I'm just going to go and pick Grado and Mahabali Shera. So, those are my picks for that match. The next match will be for the TNA King of the Mountain Championship. It will be Eli Drake. Yeah, Mr. Let Me Talk to You. Taking on Bram, who is the former champion. Now, for those of you, again, who have watched TNA, you saw that Eli cashed in his Feast of Fire case for the King of the Mountain Championship, and he walked out of Impact a couple weeks ago as the new King of the Mountain champion. Bram, who had recently won the title from Eric Young. I think this will be a decent match. Nothing spectacular. I think it'll be a decent match. Again, I really, even now, I still don't know what the meaning of the King of the Mountain Championship is. But anyway, I'm going to have to go with Bram. I think he'll be the two-time King of the Mountain champ. I was going to say knockout champion. He'll be the two-time King of the Mountain champion. So my pick is Bram over Eli Drake. All right, the next match will be for the TNA World Tag Team Championship. It'll be the Bromans, Jesse Goddard and Robbie E. They will take on the team of Decay, which is Abyss and Crazy Steve, accompanied by Rosemary. Now, Decay, they've gotten over with the fans in TNA. Well, some of the fans, rather. I'm not a fan of the gimmick, but, they got a cool concept going. The Bromans, by no means am I a fan of theirs. Never have been, never will be. Honestly, I think it'll be a okay match, but kind of a squash match. So I'm going to pick Decay to retain the TNA World Tag Team Championship. All right. The next match will be EC3 taking on Mike Bennett, the Miracle. Now, a few weeks ago, last month to be exact, the Miracle Mike Bennett defeated EC3 on Impact. EC3 had that big 30-month undefeated streak. Whatever the case may be, he was undefeated basically. And the Miracle Mike Bennett basically shocked the world by defeating EC3. I actually watched that episode when Mike defeated Ethan. I really like this rivalry here. I really do. It's one of the best rivalries in TNA that they've had in a long time. That's just my opinion. But anyway, EC3 was putting, what's that Mike called it? 3 Stages of Hell. His EC3 Redemption Tour. The first match he took on Rockstar Spud in a steel cage. Second match he took on Tyrus in the Last Man Standing. Then he took on Matt Hardy, who I'm going to get to in just a second. He didn't defeat Matt Hardy. Mike Bennett made sure he wasn't going to get his rematch. He told him that you were supposed to either pin or submit Matt Hardy. You didn't. But he ended up getting his rematch anyway. So again, EC3 versus the Miracle Mike Bennett. I think this will be a fantastic match. Again, I like the rivalry. I'm going to go with EC3. I think he's going to get his revenge, and he's going to walk out of Slammiversary with the victory. Speaking of Matt Hardy, he's taking on his brother Jeff in Full Metal Mayhem. Now, a couple weeks ago, if you haven't seen it, please go watch it. The so-called contract signing that they had, it was very weird. Let's just say that it was very, very weird, to say the least. Matt, he's going through this transitional phase or whatever he's got going. And Jeff, we all know what Jeff can do. We all know what Matt can do. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I'm really not into this rivalry here. So I'm just going to say Jeff is going to defeat Matt in Full Metal Mayhem. And the main event will be for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Like I said earlier, the only way to win Stipulation added by TNA President Dixie Carter. The only way to win is by tap out or knockout. These two have been going at it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, just at each other's throats. Every time you turn around, they're brawling verbally. They're brawling, they're going at it physically, verbally, what have you. Lashley feels like he deserves a TNA World Title shot. A lot of people do. Lashley feels like he's the baddest guy on the roster. Drew Galloway, we know what he can do. Lashley, they call him the Destroyer. We know what he can do. I think this will be a fantastic match. I'm really looking forward to this match. Besides EC3 and Mike Bennett, I'm looking forward to the main event. And with that being said, I'm going to go with Drew Galloway. I think he'll find some way to overcome the odds when it comes to Lashley. Lashley's going to do whatever it takes to win the TNA World Title. I'm going to have to go with Drew Galloway to retain the title at Slammiversary. So that is pretty much your preview of TNA Slammiversary. I know some of you are going to watch it. I know most of you aren't, and that's fine. I'm looking forward to watching it. I'm going to probably watch it the day after, being work schedules and stuff like that. But anyway, as usual, you already know the drill. Follow me at only1Rodimus on Instagram and Twitter, at WonderShop256 on Instagram and Twitter. Like us, listen to us, follow us, subscribe to us, tweet us. Sarah Dorkopedia, Devin Cooks. A whole bunch of stuff that we got planned, but due to work schedules and stuff like that, it's not happening. But sooner or later, we will make it happen for you guys. But that's all I got for tonight. I'm Rodimus Prime, and I will see you guys next time.